Hi guys! I'm in a little bit better mood today concerning my orchids. I know the last video was quite depressing probably, and I was really upset. I just need to tell you that so that you can understand why I was so upset. I get really emotional about everything, and that also applies in a positive way. So I get really happy when I get some little small things, or when something good happens, I get really happy, and I smile a lot and I try to be positive. But then if something bad happens, even if it's to someone, it's probably not a big deal, but for me the orchids, they're like my babies which sounds probably a bit strange, but I've had them for a long time and I've put a lot of care in them, so I really love them. They are my pride, and I really love these plants. And so when something like this happened and all the information I was getting online was really negative, it kind of got me really upset, and I don't want to say depressed, but I was quite down because of this, what happened. And now I want to tell you why you should not do as I did. So you should not get so upset. You should not trust the information as it is online. And probably, I don't know, now I don't even know if I should have done so much research online. I have a local orchid nursery where I've got all the orchids from, and I don't understand why I didn't call them right away. I mean, I have experts right here. I could have even driven there. It would have taken me like 15 minutes at maximum with traffic and I would have got the right answer right away. But for some reason I decided to go online and do all the research online and get myself all stressed out. So the last video I did, I was using the hydrogen peroxide and I was telling you how everything is bad and I don't know what to do. Well, I've been watching the orchids, and I think it might have worked. I don't see the thrips on those two orchids that I treated with hydrogen peroxide, but also the problem is that these orchids, they don't have any flowers anymore, and it's really difficult to see the thrips only on the leaves. So there might be no thrips, but I cannot say for sure. So I'm gonna use the technique that I was told by this orchid nursery also on those two orchids. So I'm sorry for those who were waiting on an update on that. I'm not gonna go on and do that because I really want to save the orchids, and even though I was told everything is not so bad, I still don't want to risk it and leave the bugs on the orchids for too long. So we called the orchid nursery and we asked specifically about this bug, so thrips, and what they were saying was there are two types of thrips. Maybe there are more, but that's what they said, that one lives on the flowers, so it's two species, I guess. One lives on the flowers, and that's what I was showing on my yellow orchid. So that's where I noticed them, because you can notice them the best on the flowers. And then the second type of, or the second species, lives on the leaves and between the leaves. So that's where you see the damage on the leaves, and then you see the damage on the flowers, but it's actually two different types of this bug. And yes, they were surprised that I got both of them, so I'm lucky that way. I got all of it just in once, but what can we do? And then they said you shouldn't be too worried. It can happen and the orchids can be saved, and they said it's not something horrible, so they were really calming us down, saying just get the spray that they mentioned and spray the orchids, and you will get rid of the thrips. So here we go to the spray. I'm showing the exact one that they use in their orchid nursery. They suggested this, or they said they used this one. They didn't really suggest it. They said they used this one, and I wanted to get the same one. This is not, well, it is kind of advertisement, but I don't know how good this is, and I don't know how it compares to other. But this is the one that I will use, and I want to show it to you in case you want to get the same one. So it's a spray against different kinds of bugs, and what they said is really important is that it is specifically against thrips, so used against thrips. So that's why we got this one, because this one is against thrips and this is what they use. And also what is good about this one, it's not harmful for the nature. So it even says here it doesn't harm the bees. I think it can be used outside for the plants outside and for the plants inside, because it's actually called a spray for roses. But we are going to try this one, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna work, because if they say it's gonna work, I have all my orchids from them and they are really the orchid experts. So if they say this is going to work, I think I trust them on that one. So what they told me to do, because in my last video, if you've not watched it, I will link it here so you can watch it. I did repot the orchids, I changed the medium, I cut off all flowers. So that's what I did. But they said the thrips, they don't live in the roots, so there's no need to repot or change the medium. What I noticed, however, was that when I was watering them, I noticed the thrips jumping in the water. So I don't know, maybe that was because they were on the lower parts of the leaves, and then when I was watering the plants they were getting out. I don't know, or maybe it was because I was spraying them at the same time. But I will not repot the rest of my orchids, because they told me that's not necessary, and this time of the year is not really perfect for repotting. So I'm not going to repot them. I'm only going to I will water them at the same time that I will be spraying them. So I will put them in the water bath kind of thing and then I will cut off the flower spikes, or not the flower spikes, but the flowers on the orchids that have flowers. That's what they told to do, to cut the affected parts, and then I will spray them with this spray, and hopefully they will be all gone. I might need to do it again. It says, I cannot find it here, but online, and maybe here if I open this, but I remember that 10 to 14 days you might need to do it again. So after 10 to 14 days I might have to spray them again, because the life cycle of the thrips, I don't remember exactly how it is, but it might be that there are some eggs somewhere in the plants, and I think I read that you cannot kill the eggs with the sprays, so they will come alive and then you need to spray again, and then you will get rid of them. But that's what I'm going to do. I will show it a little bit next in the video, so you can keep on watching and you will see what I did exactly, but I won't show everything like in the previous video. I don't want this video to be that long. I've treated all my orchids and I used the whole bottle, so it was 750 milliliters, and I have 9 orchids, so I've used it for all of the orchids. It's empty, and I will probably get another one because in case it's good to have it, and also in case in 10-14 days I will notice that there are still some thrips, I will spray the orchids again. And they're still in my bathroom because it said on the package to air the room where the orchids are for 30 minutes. So if you're going to use this specific spray, read the instructions really carefully. Also, if you're using any other spray, read the instructions so that you know exactly what to do and to be precautionate if you need to use gloves or anything else like that, so you don't harm yourself or you don't harm the orchids or anyone else living in your house. Also, when I was researching myself, I found on different channels, I found different kind of sprays that were suggested. Then when I went on Amazon and I was trying to search for these specific sprays, a lot of reviews said that these sprays destroyed the plant. I don't know, maybe the person was using it wrong, or maybe, I don't know, it was just too strong for the plants. But if you're not going to use this specific one that I was using, read the comments really careful. Don't be in a rush. Don't do this in a rush, because some sprays might destroy your plants. So do good research if you're not using this one. This one I would say is really safe because they are using it in the orchid nursery. So I mean, why would they use it if it's not safe? They have thousands and thousands of plants that they need to treat daily, probably with some different kind of things, and then if they get something on their orchids, I think they treat all of them probably to be safe. So if they suggest something, I think it is safe. Then one more tip, if you notice that only one of your orchids is affected, and also if you don't have them like I have all of them here, if you have them, so one orchid in one room, another orchid in another room, and you notice that only one plant is affected, you don't need to treat the other plant as long as it's isolated from the other plant. So only if the plants are in contact, so they are so close that the thrips can get from one plant to another, then you need to treat all of the plants. And this applies also to other plants, so not just orchids. You need to treat all of the plants that are close to the orchid, or you need to isolate them. And now I'm gonna leave the orchids to be for 10-14 days like suggested on the bottle, and then I will do an update video. So I will tell you how it is looking, and I will tell you whether I will be spraying them again or if they're free and I can be calm again. If you have any questions, I was talking and probably I forgot something, but if you have any specific questions, anything that I didn't cover in the video, feel free to ask in the comments. I will be more than happy to help. I was so happy that the orchid nursery helped me, so I'm more than happy to answer your questions and help you as well. If you found this video helpful and if you liked it, don't forget that thumbs up. I would really appreciate that, and subscribe to see the update video for my orchids. Thank you for watching my video. Bye bye until next time.